Am I really white? Oh,
Hello, my loves.
hi. It
Welcome.
was it was a little much of a light there.
Welcome to the Corey and Isabel podcast. Welcome, Camille.
Thank you.
I am
Yes.
going to start by just reading a quick bio about this beautiful woman so our guests and everybody that's listening can get to know who you are a little bit on paper, but then we're going to dive in and get to know you personally. All right. So today we're joined with Camille Friend, Academy Award nominated celebrity hairstylist and creative visionary whose work you've seen in films like Black Panther, Wakanda Forever, The Hunger Games. Oh my gosh, this sounds really good. Oh, so many questions already. The Hunger Games and the Dreamgirls, with more than 20 years in the industry. As a third generation hairstylist, Camille approaches hair as storytelling, weaving culture, identity, ancestry, and artistry into everything she creates. Beyond Hollywood, she's passionate about mentorship, legacy, and empowering the next generation to step into their gifts. So, welcome, my dear.
Thank you, ladies. Thank you for having me. Thank
And
you.
then I'm going to ask our lovely Isabel to talk about Camille because you're besties.
Oh my gosh.
Tell me the
Yeah.
journey. How did you guys
We
meet, by the way?
well, she was in one corner waiting, and then I was across the street, and we just liked each other. There was no competition.
Exactly. It's always been like Izzy has always been love. Like I remember one of the first times I went to her house in LA, and
Yeah.
I remember there were monks. Like
Oh,
whose house do you go to and monks are hanging out? It's like, wait a minute.
she
This lady is
told
different.
she told
And
me about
so
that.
always the energy around Isabel has always been beautiful. And
Yeah.
she's
Mm.
always been kind, thoughtful, and she keeps it real. And I'm the same way. And we connected on that level and the spiritual levels. We love so many different spiritual practices. And you always need a friend who you can refer to who can keep you on that practice because you have things happen. And I can always call Isabel or see Isabel, and it doesn't matter how long I haven't seen her, it's that sisterhood, it's that love. It's
Mm.
always there.
Oh.
Yep.
Yep.
Yep. And working in that in the industry for over 5 decades, uh, I have tremendous admiration because Camille doesn't get involved. I wanted to leave the industry not because I didn't like my craft or I didn't like what I did it was that cutthroaty talk, all that never ever in any show. And Camille and I, we worked some really hard shows,
Yeah.
okay, with a lot going on. Not only actors, but a lot going on, like Dreamgirls and all kinds of stuff that I was next door. But, never, never, never I have seen her get involved
Mm.
in any kind of la la la, or put down somebody for doing something, or even when she has him as an assistant or a partner, team, she always kind. She always keeps to herself. And my thing is with you, Camille, that you always have strived for excellency, and that's not always the rule. I see, because I started when it was all males
Right.
in New York, and it was really hard to get in. I will make $50 a week
Wow.
for cleaning and setting up, but I wasn't allowed to see
Yeah.
makeovers
Yep.
until I started doing, Miami Vice and all that, and I did, Saturday Night Live. That was huge mistreatment because the department head, oh, the new chick is coming, I'm gonna crash her. She doesn't have any of that. She always trying to teach, to show, to do her work, to keep to herself, and do the best that she can. And that's always been you, Camille. Always
Well,
been
thank
you.
you. Thank you.
Yeah.
But
But look at
I grew up, I mean, if you talk to my family, you talk to my mom or dad, I always had a type A personality in the sense of like I sold the most Girl Scout cookies in Arizona for like 3 years. Like I always, and my mother would always say, and she always said, she goes, "We didn't push her. That was just her." It's always something in me that I wanted to win or I want to prove myself. And and just not letting anything beat me.
Yeah.
And and there's in life is challenging.
Yes.
It's life is challenging, but just no matter what, just keep going. And this business is challenging. And like Isabel, it's still to this day. You work with a lot of guys and they are not nice to you and they want to put you down and tell you what you don't know. And you have to fight. Like you have to fight for your position. You have to fight for your seat at the table to this day.
Yeah.
Like there's a certain makeup artist, I won't say, but me and him had like a screaming match in the producer's office. And the producer let us scream at each other because I was like, no, not today. I'm not taking it. And you know what? Now we're friends and we're cool. But sometimes you have to stand your ground and say, no, not today. I'm not gonna do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
You
can
think
you
I'm
go
sorry.
on, go on, Isabel. Go on.
You know what though? She does it in a way that is soft, kind, firm, and terminal.
Yes.
Camille does the ribbit, boom, but it's no negotiation after that.
Right.
Well, I'm a Cancer. I'm a Cancer.
Oh, bye.
I'm a Cancer. So, we have that. Like, we love you or we don't.
Yeah.
There's no right in here. No, it's
Yeah, yeah,
either this or this. And if you fit in the in between, we're done with you.
yeah.
And I mean, and it's one of those things too. There's a stunt coordinator that told me one day, he goes, "You know how you deal with people, Camille?" He goes, "You're always gonna have people that come and they have problems and they're gonna come to work and they're gonna bring it." He goes, "This is what you do." He goes, "You investigate, you act concerned," and he goes, "and you stand back and see how they handle it.
Yep.
Don't get
That's you.
involved."
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And sometimes you have to allow people to figure it out themselves too.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And you don't have to take on everybody's stuff. And that's one of the biggest things I had to learn is you don't have to take on everybody's stuff.
Yes. I
Yeah.
would imagine it's quite difficult because you're in that kind of role when you're doing people's makeup or you're doing people's hair the way that you do, Camille. I'm sure you do a lot more than that as well, but it's like they automatically think you're like a therapist,
Right.
Oh,
like they
yeah.
tell you all the problems, right?
Yeah.
And I would imagine it's very difficult to find a middle ground where you can just be supportive but not take on any of the stuff.
Yeah, you just have the middle ground. You're supportive and you're kind and you listen. And it's like, can I bring you a cup of tea? Can I bring you a cup of coffee? Like,
Yeah,
I can be kind to you, but
Yeah.
I don't have to take on your stuff.
yeah.
And then too, like, one of the things I learned early on from like Isabel is wrapping myself in white light. When you're walking in
Energetically.
that trailer, wrapping yourself with that white light, with that bubble. So things are more bouncing off of you. Just like the Buddhist, you have a chance. You can take it going into your skin or you can let it bounce off. I
Mhm.
choose to let it bounce off.
Thing is, I used to watch myself when I got really, really tired because the guards go down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When you are there 18 hours and you want to choke something,
Yeah.
and somebody comes along with that, oh, and selling some product instead of doing what they do. Just think these people are very insecure,
Yeah.
very insecure. Very few of these big people are secure.
That's
Okay,
very true. You're dealing with very fragile people, and
right?
through their fears, through their traumas, they're bringing it all. But this is what's crazy. But that's what makes them the best actors because they can draw upon those things because a lot of them are living in so much pain,
Yes.
and
Yep.
but they
Big.
draw from that and can be famous from that.
Yep.
Mhm.
Yeah. And like I told Tony Hopkins once, and I said, you know what? If we were this psychotic and schizophrenic, we would be in a padded room. But the worse you are, the more psychotic, the more schizophrenic, the bigger the paycheck. He goes, yeah, don't you love it? I was talking to him about the Silence of the Lamb. I'm like, how the hell did you end up in there?
Right. Yeah.
Because you gotta be, you know what I mean?
Yeah. It's on a different plane.
Mm,
Right?
It
And you're
is.
the first one to see them, the
And the
last
last
one
one.
to see them. They
mm,
show up in the trailer, and you look at, a lot of times I went like, I wonder who that is.
Right. Yeah.
Could they do not look like what you guys see afterwards?
oh
Oh,
yeah.
definitely that. Definitely that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Definitely.
yeah. Some people that they have no hair, whatever. It can be a
Yeah.
lot of things. I had an actress for years that I did a lot of face, the lifts to be able,
Yes. Like
but
tie it at the back.
yeah, it
Yep.
depends on how. Yeah, but she will
Yeah.
not take them down. And so I have to really think it because it can create bruises and stuff, you know?
Right.
You gotta
It's an
keep,
art. Like it is an art to like people don't realize what an illusion that we cast. It's an
Yeah.
mm,
art to a truly an art to what we do. Yep.
Yes. Yes, definitely so much artistry and creativity,
yeah.
definitely. Camille, tell me about your journey a little bit, if you don't mind. Like, how did you get to, that's an impressive bio. How did you get to be where you're at in this industry?
Good question. I'm gonna say my journey is God's journey.
Yes.
I didn't think about or want to be in the industry. Literally, I'm just like the vessel and I'm walking in his purpose. And literally, a friend of mine was doing a movie and I was in my salon. I had a huge clientele. I was cranking. I wasn't worried about money. I was doing my thing. I had a huge clientele. And she asked me to come do some wigs for a woman called Lynn Whitfield. She goes, you're really good at curling hair. I can't keep up with it because I'm on set with her and she's full on. And I was like, okay, I'll go down there and do it. And then they were whispering and they were like, this movie's gonna turn union. I said, what is the union? I said, I don't care about any damn union. I,
Yeah.
I didn't care because I at that time I was teaching for Sebastian and I was enjoying that and and I had my clients and I was doing my thing. I didn't really care. And so again, the movie turned union and there was a young lady on there that I was doing her hair. She worked like 3 days. She was an actress. She was like, we called them like day players. She was a day player actress, minor role. And she was whispering to me, she goes, I have a show that they did for NBC and the pilot is going and they said that I could bring a hairdresser. And I said, okay. I said, here's my number. Like, I don't know, whatever. And I remember she called me and her name is Simbi Kali and
Mm.
the show was Third Rock from the Sun.
Mm.
And that was my first show. So I went there and I remember they told me, they were like, you just got into the union. So you might not work out. You on 30 days, or I think it was like 30, 45 days, like probation, they told me.
Whoa.
And I was a young woman, but I remember one of my best friends, she was a record executive at the time. And she said, let me tell you something. She took me to Neiman Marcus with her credit card. She goes, we're going to get you some clothes, honey. And she said, you're going to get yourself together and you're going to go there every day and you're going to do your job. And she says, and you are going to be kind to people. And she goes, you're going to be helpful. She goes, if you sweep floors, if you're going to help everybody in that trailer. And that's what I did. I humbled
Yep.
myself.
Yes.
I went and I did it. I showed up looking great. They would always be like, Jane Kirby, like, Camille, your clothes are great. She had no idea that my best friend had dressed me because she had the money. She took me to Neiman Marcus and took me shopping.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I could have the part. Like, it's like I had to play the part for a
Yes.
minute until
Yeah.
I got there. So
Yeah.
that's really how I got started.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
So,
remember you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember you with Miss Irma
Yeah.
there. Because you were under a very tough
Yeah,
hairdresser.
I call it, when you're first getting in, you work for who you could work for. So when you're people's key, you just get what you get. So I worked for like the time, it was a different era. The tough department heads, their motto was they wanted to see you cry.
Yeah.
mm.
They were tough, man. They were really tough.
Yep.
And I'll tell you what I learned through going through that. I learned that's not the way to treat people. So
Yeah.
they taught me how I didn't want to treat people,
Mhm.
how people did, how I didn't want to make people feel in doing this job because it's not necessary. So,
Mhm.
and I'm thankful for all those people, but I just knew that's not when I got my opportunity, that's not how I wanted to be with people because it's not productive. It's not productive. Yeah.
Yeah, you're always kind and always good. And what was it that I remember seeing a little interview or something about the Dreamgirls, because you said something there that it was really deep and touching for me, because you didn't even know if you were gonna get the.
Well, I'll tell you the journey for Dreamgirls. It was one of those, it could only be God, it could only be my angels, because I had no business getting that job. So long story short, I was doing a movie called oh boy, it's a Will Smith movie. Oh boy, Camille. It just went out of my
That's
head.
okay. It'll come back.
It will come back. So I was doing a movie with Will Smith, Pursuit of Happiness, with Will
There you
Smith
go.
and Jaden Smith. Really doing Jaden. That's where I really bonded with Jaden. Anyway, I was doing that, and a costume designer, my good friend Sharon Davis, was like, Camille, I'm gonna do Dreamgirls. And I was like, okay. And she was like, but they're looking for a hairdresser. Everybody in LA wants this job. So I was like, well, tell them. She goes, they had all these auditions, all the girls who could sing. These girls came from Broadway. They came from Carnegie Mellon. Like all the big schools, they auditioned girls from record who had record from record labels. They auditioned all these girls. Like they had the biggest, it was David Geffen. David Geffen was the producer. All
Mm.
these auditions. So I told them, if you get them to do these auditions on Monday, my off day is Sunday and Monday. I'll fly myself back to LA to do the auditions. They didn't pay for me to fly back and forth. I flew myself
Mm.
back and forth. So I was going back and forth. We did Fantasia, Jennifer Hudson, Kelly Price, all the girls, all these girls. And then once we got down to the end, I remember I was like, I'm not going to get this job. And I remember Bill Condon was like, he goes, Camille, you're getting this job. And I was like, I don't think so. And then I remember who called me, and we're still friends this day, Patty Witcher. She's an executive producer. And she was like, Camille, you're
Patty,
getting
yeah.
this job. And I remember going into the office and seeing all the resumes of the greats, the greats. And I was like, that was so humbling. And I just
Yeah.
remember going home and my little Toyota Corolla and crying.
Oh
Okay.
my God, yeah.
Like really, because I was so humbled that I got this opportunity. And I was like, I'm going to make the bestest of this opportunity that I ever can. So, like,
Mhm.
it's just one of those, you never know where you're going to be. And when you have the opportunity, take it, bring your A game. Don't
Yes.
mess around because
Yeah.
you might not have another opportunity. And that's just really the truth. So that was a big lesson for me, and I put myself out there, and some people be like, nowadays, well, I wouldn't pay to do that. Well, I'm not you.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Right? But it was a gigantic show because my show was right next to you guys. And Tim got in there, no?
Yeah, and the other thing, the makeup artist, and this is the synergy. I had met the makeup artist Tim Buchanan. I didn't know him from Adam. I had met him at a barbecue. And he had said to me, I really want to do Dreamgirls. I said, so do I. And he goes, well, if you hear something, you tell me. And I said, and if I hear something, and I said, we're going to keep this together. And we did like pinky swear. And to this day, we are still friends, very good friends. We are thick as thieves. And
Oh.
every move, anytime somebody said something, I would call him. He would call me. Okay,
Yeah.
Camille, you need to be in LA on this date. Okay, get here, get here. Like
Mhm.
we worked it together. So it was almost like a triad. It was
Yeah.
me, Tim, and Sharon Davis.
That's
And
Sharon
awesome.
Davis.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, and Tim does Janet Jackson, does, Jennifer Hudson, big girls.
Yeah.
He
What
does
was
he does all
Yeah.
the big girls. He's
Oh,
a
the
beautiful.
huge girls.
Yeah.
He's from Philippines. He's just lovely. And you know, some people are just lovely and good people like you and Tim. And but you said, you know, at the right place and the right time, what is yours is yours.
Yeah. And you
Mhm.
know, this career it's blood, sweat, and tears. It's a little luck. You know, you gotta
Mhm.
have a little luck in there. And you just have to, and I always tell people, keep going. And the other thing that I really learned is to run my own race. So in the sense of, I always like to do this. I'm like a horse, like a racehorse. They put blinders on them.
Okay.
I have to be here.
Yeah.
I'm not looking to my left or right. What is she doing? What is he doing? No, I'm not running anybody else's race. I'm in my own race, and I have my blinders on, and I'm looking ahead,
Mhm.
and I'm focusing on my prize. I don't care what you're doing over here or doing over there.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I'm straight ahead.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, very focused. She
Yeah.
always says that's why the excellency, because I've seen, remember when we did Spirit, no, what was it over here?
Yeah.
With the huge, the Spirit, was it?
Yeah. The spirit. Yeah.
Oh, Isabel and the names. Here I am,
That was
department
a
heading,
hard movie. I mean, you know,
department
it was
heading,
told, it was
don't know.
like, it was a hard movie. And we had an interesting director, God bless him.
I love the guy.
I know, but you know, he was interesting, challenging, but a super creative, fabulous guy. Like he treated us so great. And even me and Isabel ended up sticking with him, doing his hair and makeup and doing press and everything with him.
Genius,
Yes.
completely.
Uh-huh.
But
Yeah,
yeah, but genius, you know, but that's one thing about this field. It brings to, you have the creative genius. You
yeah,
know,
Mm.
they might be not be like great husbands or great wives or great fathers or people like that, but on the creative end, their genius is just, it could
yeah.
fill the world. Yeah. So,
Mhm.
and it does.
Amazing, amazing
Yeah.
people.
Yeah.
And the bigger they are, the better they are, the nicer they are. Like Spielberg, you know,
Yeah.
she's just a sweetheart. So many people, but you have excelled and created your own companies and your own system to teach, and that's your journey. Like Corey and I were so inspired by teaching and by women
Yeah.
like you. That guy, you take care of your family, you take care of all these things on your own, and you strive and you have the big heart to share and to empower people and to get more people in the union and
Right.
in the film industry.
No, I fell in love with teaching like many, many years ago. I think it was, if I'm not mistaken, everywhere I go, I always taught.
Yeah.
And I just remember it was on, I think it was Guardians of the Galaxy 2. We had a complex thing that we were doing. So, John Blake, we had these ball caps, and people had to really wrap the hair really tight. We had these sexy girls, sexy robot girls. So we had half ball caps where, and then they had like appliances here and all this kind of stuff going on. And I was like, this is going to be a disaster if we don't teach people. So I remember going to them and saying, hey, why don't we take an 8 hour day ahead of time and teach everybody the concepts, show everybody, teach everybody. Everybody's already signed an NDA. Let's get ahead of this. And I remember it was such a success. I remember the producer actually came in that morning to see how everything went. And I said, you know, if we wouldn't have done this, we wouldn't have made it. We would not have made our pre-call to set. We wouldn't have made our set time because people would have been spending 2 hours picking up on the concept. But since
Mhm.
they had seen it, that's what changed it. And one thing
Yeah,
I love about education is just not you're educating yourself. Education gives you confidence. It gives you that thing, you know that you know that you know. And
Yeah.
when, and no one can ever take that away from them. Just like a couple of weeks ago, I did a class for NBC Universal at Universal Studios, which was really great, and worked with 18 hairdressers from the union, people who had 20 years of experience. And you know, when we got our feedback, we got 5 out of 5 on every topic. We got 5 out of 5. We got raving reviews, and part of it was like teaching hard concepts, but breaking it down so people can understand. And one of my main mottos in class is, when you're learning, I said, be gentle with yourself.
Mhm.
This is new. I
Mhm.
said, be kind to yourself. Don't beat yourself up. I said, let your brain catch up. I said, because you're firing new neuron paths. So by tomorrow, when you come in and you touch it, it's going to be a whole new thing. And I said, when you go home, think about each step that you're going to go through. Allow your brain to catch up to your hands. And that's how I teach people, and just teach them with kindness. Be gentle with yourself, be kind to others. And this is an open forum. It's an open forum to, to ask questions. Nothing is a bad question, nothing is a stupid question, because so many people preference, I know this is a stupid question, and as soon as they say it, I said, this is not a
Yeah.
stupid question. I
Yeah.
want to hear everything that you have to ask me, because everything you say to me is important.
Yeah.
So ask me your question. So that's how I teach.
Yeah. So,
We,
I'm sorry, Isabel.
no, no, go ahead. Go ahead.
I
Because
was
you get,
just going to say, so your school is Hair Scholars,
Yeah,
correct?
Hair Scholars is my teaching school.
And
Yeah.
it's like a mentorship and a business.
It's a
You do the
mentorship,
teaching
it's a
classes.
business, all in one.
And
And
is that just for the union or is that?
no, it's for people. That's a great question. It's for everyone. So, people who want to get into the business or are interested in the business. And I'm going to tell you, I have had so many wonderful teaching experiences. Like I went to Utah to the Black Lives Matter camp,
Yeah.
and I taught all these like Mormon people, Mormon white guys. I had a class of 100 how to do their black kids' hair.
Oh,
That was beautiful. I remember I
yeah.
went back to my hotel room. I felt so loved. I felt like I gave so much. I just cried because I'm always in awe of like what God and the universe brings to me. Or like when I got to go work in oh God, in Milwaukee, it's a company which is a marble company, and they work with fine artists. And I got to go there and be with them a week, and I got to work with fine artists from all around the world, from Spain, Mexico, Italy, Germany. Some of these guys are the best sculptors in the world,
Mm.
and I got to teach them about hair texture, and
Wow.
I got to learn about marble, and we chiseled, and we made different hair textures, and I got to show them things. And it was a week of like such a beautiful exchange of energy. I had grown men at the end on Friday. We were crying
Oh,
because it was so much love there.
yeah.
So, the journey, it's not just about like doing hair. Like I've got to go so many different places and teach places. Like I'm getting ready to work with some animation next week. I'm going to do some animation and teach some animators about hair texture. So
right.
you never know, like when you open yourself and you allow, the teaching has just grown into its own whole thing.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But, Corey, of course you do, because you're very, very good at this. Um, you see her, she's pure life.
Oh, it's beautiful. Your energy is lovely. I'm
Oh,
just
thank you.
thinking what it is. I was just thinking, Isabel, that it's like it's not just about a job for you. It
It
feels
isn't.
like your whole energy, your whole life. It's like we talk about being of service, don't we, Isabel, in the
Being of
craft of
service.
therapy or what, different things, but you're so being of service. You can feel it on the way that
Well,
you
that's
just
what it's about.
express.
I mean, it's
Exactly,
it's
right?
about being of service, and you have
I
to
know.
say, it's how may I serve? And
Yeah.
some people, they have a problem with that. And I said, how may I serve doesn't mean that you're a servant.
Yeah.
No.
That's not what it has to do. It's
Very
about
different.
it
Yeah.
about opening your heart and allowing. And even
Yeah.
when you're of service, there's so many beautiful things that can become. Like I've had in my life great opportunities to work with women, and even close women to me that had cancer.
Mm.
And I even took care of one of my best friends until she died. But I would never change a day of that,
Yeah.
because I got to be of service.
Yeah.
When you get to be with someone who might be going through the toughest part of their life, to be there to hold their hand, you can't. There's nothing that, I mean, it's priceless. It's just
Yeah.
priceless.
I see now, because when I started, when I, a long time ago, you weren't born yet. neither one you. But anyway, we have to give tests. You have to be a journeyman. I mean, I did in New York, like 3 months off and and everything, facial hair, period stuff. Now, you see a lot of the artists, whatever they call, um, uh, with a Ziploc bag. I was seeing a couple of them in a movie, huge movie here, with just about anything there, no clean or nothing, no. Oh God, I wonder when we can go home or when it's lunch.
Mhm.
That's not you though.
No.
You
You know,
see?
I don't even think like I never think about when I'm going home. I mean, you know, even if the day is tough, if you start focusing on, oh, when am I going home? This is so hard. I mean, and listen, I'm human. I have days like that.
Yeah.
But as a whole, I'm like,
Yeah,
this is pretty. I said this is a pretty good job, guys.
yeah,
Because if you look at it this way too, most people in the film industry, we're artists. If we weren't doing this, where would we be? What would we be doing? You
Mm.
know? So to have an opportunity to every day to make movies, to create like I love creating characters that are gonna last forever. Like these characters are gonna outlast me.
Mm.
So and I've had great opportunities. Like when I did Little Mermaid. Like, who knew? Who knew that I would be doing that? And when I got the phone call, I was like, really? And I was like, okay, this is a great opportunity. How often are you going to get to take an iconic character
Mhm.
and actually change it, make people look at it differently, and work with this lovely young woman and somebody who, too, she needed protection
yeah,
because people were cruel.
Mm.
And she's a delicate flower. Like
Mm.
she's a sweetie pie. Like our hearts are very similar. She's a
Mm.
yeah.
good, sweet, she's a sweet girl. And I
Mm.
was like, I was so happy that I could be there along her journey to help her. And two, this is an iconic thing. And you don't get to do that every day.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, we take care of them a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A
Yeah.
lot. Oh God, I had one that she would call me in the middle of the night, said that she loved me so much, but she was gonna jump off the balcony in Malibu. I was like, oh, I'll be right there. And then from there, trying to calm her down to bring it to work and make it look somewhat good.
Right.
Yes.
No, I
Yeah.
remember I one of my first talents that I really big talent who really took to me was Brittany Murphy. And
Mm.
I remember like I used to go, I mean, when we were on location, I would sometimes sleep with her in the bed, like just to comfort her because
Mm.
Yeah,
people didn't know like all the trauma,
yeah,
all the pain,
yeah,
all the fear. Like it
yeah.
was going like this in this girl.
I
And
know.
sometimes she just needed somebody to like be there for her.
Yeah,
Yeah.
'Cause she had demons
yeah.
Yeah.
and people didn't understand. But
Mm,
such a talented person. Like
mm,
she could sing, she could dance, she could act. I've never seen to this day somebody who can cry like that. She
Mm.
could go like this, come up, full tears, not little, full on tears. But later on, what I figured out, I was like, baby, that's some real pain when you can
Yeah.
cry like that.
yeah,
Right.
And
Right.
that was real. And like,
yeah.
I remember when she passed, I remember sitting at my living room table and I remember people were calling me and hitting me on my two-way pager back then. And I remember I just kept crying and I was like, but she's free.
Yeah,
She's free.
yeah,
Her
yeah,
soul is free because
yeah,
her soul was in torment
yeah.
and she never felt like she was enough. She never felt she
No.
was skinny enough or pretty enough. She never felt that.
Do
And
you
it didn't matter all the admiration, she didn't.
do you
Yeah.
feel like this not necessarily, maybe you do feel like it's a responsibility to teach, responsibility to pass on what you know, but do you feel like part of that is everything that you and Isabella are sharing? It seems like you guys have had a heavy weight a lot of the time. Is
Mm.
that part of what you're teaching these students of yours, how to cope in that area?
All of it.
Yeah,
I
perfect.
I'm very honest too about my life from okay, I had two miscarriages. I had a failed marriage. Like I can, like, you, only person who can shame you is other people. But if you
Exactly.
tell your story, nobody can shame you.
Yeah.
So I'm open with my information. And, a lot of times it's just allowing people the space to be able to talk about things.
Yeah.
And, and I always tell people, I'm going to tell you the truth, the pitfalls, and even some things you might not like,
Mm.
but I'm going to definitely tell you the truth, and just showing people, you know, like, it's not easy and there's a lot, but there's a beautiful side of it. Like, for a long time, I didn't have any awards, I didn't have anything, and I would do all these great movies, and I'd be like, well, I'm just over here doing the work. I'm gonna keep doing the work. I'm gonna keep doing the work. And
Mm.
then one day I woke up, and I remember when I did the first Black Panther, I remember that weekend, me and my boyfriend were going out of town. And it came out because I was like, oh, it's another movie. It's coming out. And I remember the publicist from Marvel called me and she goes, Camille, I need for you to get on your Instagram. I said, why? She goes, get on your Instagram. And I remember we were going down the highway and I started screaming because my numbers and people were asking me questions. And I was like, they're asking me questions? She said, this movie is about the hair and the look and the culture. She goes, this is, it just happened. She goes, we got to get on it. And I remember my ex-boyfriend was like, I'm going to turn around the car. And I said, no. He goes, no. He goes, you got to go home. You got to get on top of this. He goes, honey, this is the day that just changed your life.
Yeah.
And
Mm.
it was the day that it changed my life. And I never knew, because I just did the movie because I wanted to do it. I wanted to do something that was cultural. And I really thank God for Ryan Coogler, who gave me the license to say, Camille, go off. Make this as big as you want.
Yeah.
Go there.
Yeah.
And even the people at Marvel, I was like, are you guys sure you want to make this movie really look? No, they were like, Camille, this is the Black Panther. It's about this, it's about Wakanda, and this is how we're going to do it. And along with, Ruth Carter, who is the costume designer extraordinaire, 2 Oscars in creating that whole world. I didn't think it was ever going to change my life. And the Wakanda effect is real. That's when people were like, oh, then it was like I was in the New York Times. I have a 3-page article in New York Times. It's like, what? And
Yeah.
then it just happens. So you can't chase it. It's just one of those things. When it happens,
Mhm.
it happens. And now
Mhm.
I'm in my office and I'm looking over there, I have a table full of awards. And like I'm getting another award next month, as
Wow.
an icon visionary. And it's like, am I that old? But like the things that I've gotten to create. And even in the second Black Panther, I'll say this because people were like, how can you do Mayan culture? I was like, how do you mean how I can't do Mayan culture? I says, just like I approach Black culture, any culture I do. I don't care if it's Irish culture, I don't care if
Yeah.
it's Hawaiian. I says, I'm going to give the cultural reference and I'm going to do the culture as
Mhm.
I see it. And that's why I think too that movie resonated with so many people, because I mean, I had little girls stopping me, and I remember I went to lunch with a girl, a friend of mine, and she had a friend, and her niece was there from college, and she was crying. She was a Latin American girl, and she goes, I've never seen our culture on camera like that, like traditional Aztec real culture. And she made me cry, you
Yeah.
know, and that's why we do this.
Yeah.
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 But not everybody does it as well, dedicated and without taking down a lot of people around. But you do.
Well, you know what? I'll put it this way. Each movie teaches you something. And,
Mm.
one thing I learned after I did Dreamgirls, I remember after that, I got rid of my whole team of people because they didn't support me. And
Mm,
I knew in order to keep moving, I needed a different crew of people.
mm,
And then, too, after the last Black Panther, too, there's a lot of people I'll never use
mm,
because it was a lot of like when awards start happening, people start pointing fingers and people are like, you know I did this and you didn't do this and did, and I'm like, no, baby. I says, I'm going to tell you what this movie's about. This is about 30 years, a culmination of 30 years of a career. And baby, you're in year number 5. When
Mm.
you get to 30, you talk to me. I said,
Mm-hmm.
this is about this movie, but this is a celebration of my career and
Mm-hmm.
what I've done. And then I have so much further to go, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
But the passion is the passion there, Corey, no?
Yeah.
Yes. I think also it's intention. I think
Yeah.
it's your heart. I think it's intention. And I think it's the energy behind your actions. From a universal law perspective, it's like what goes around comes around,
Yes.
and you can feel that your heart is in the right place. And I think that's also not to take anything away from you, but I think on a bigger scale, like you're being taken care of,
Oh, I
you
totally,
know?
I totally, totally agree.
Yeah.
And I mean, one thing, like I love Isabel because I know I can wake up in the morning some mornings and she's going to send me a beautiful song, or she's going to send me somebody's beautiful podcast or something on YouTube, something that's going to fill my cup. And
Hmm.
keeping people like that around you is so important in your inner circle. Like, and I've done a lot of practices. I've been Kabbalah, I've been Buddhist, I meditate, I pray. I call it my spiritual toolbox. And that's one thing eventually I'm going to get to talking about how you have to have the tools in your toolbox. and
Hmm.
and all of these things, I don't care what religion you are, but I always say one day you're going to be on your knees and you're going to call for somebody. So you got to
Hmm.
figure out how you're going to do that. So having the tools in your toolbox to make it through, to cope, to love yourself, all of those tools matter. And you got to have the toolbox because you never know what tool you need.
Hmm.
So I just call it the tools in your toolbox.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, but you got really good ones, especially with your heart and the fact that you are so clean. So clean. I never for the years heard you'd say, I'm going to choke somebody or whatever else.
Oh, I think it.
Yeah, yeah. But you definitely not that person that creates problems or go behind and
No,
it's that.
that's not my deal. But like, don't get me wrong, I am human, and there's times where I'm like, "Whew, these people are driving me crazy," and like that's when I go have days like that. I go sit in my car and I have lunch like by myself, and I'm like, I need just some spiritual music on. I
Some
turn my
spiritual
spiritual music
tools,
on.
right? You need your tools.
Yeah, I need my tools just to take it down. So then I can go back in that trailer and be like, okay, everybody,
Hmm.
Right.
because people don't need me losing my shit. Like,
Hmm.
I mean, nobody needs that. And that's not what a good leader does. And a good leader is there to uplift everyone. And
Hmm.
that's what's important.
Hmm.
Well, maybe we write a letter to somebody nowadays. But in any case, because some leaders don't remember that, they're like, let me
Yes.
sit in your head until you blue so you do what I say. But,
Yes.
the fact of, yeah, because you know what, Corey? We are in a container,
Hmm.
6 or 7 or 8 people that
Hmm.
you right next to each other, they in and they out for like 2 o'clock in the morning, 3 o'clock in the morning, until whatever,
Hmm.
Right.
5 days a week,
Yeah.
and if somebody on the other side, like say a hair person, decides I want this actor or actress first, I'm screwed
Hmm.
sometimes, unless they're setting them. Because if they take all the time, I have no time to do my work. So it's a balance
It's a
that
dance.
when
Yeah.
it's this balance, and you don't know what your actor's gonna come in because I started when actors were or or I mean, in Miami Vice, everybody was on Slack, woo! And so now you're dealing with a whole different non-person there. I mean, you don't know what you got
Right.
going.
You don't know what you're gonna get. Yeah. Yeah.
Hmm.
How many times have I worked with this couple actors? One of them that are smoking in the chair, all crunched up, reading something, and I'm like, oh, that's gonna look really good by the time, and like, you know.
Hmm.
It's a lot of nervous wracking thing when
Hmm.
you're trying to do the best in your art, put it that
Right.
Yeah.
way.
It sounds so much like therapy.
It is. No, it really,
It really
no,
is.
it,
It is because I mean these people need you, right? You've got to be able to work around
right,
what it is. These and everybody is so different and everybody has a bag of problems that's their own bag of problems and you have to adjust.
right.
Will
No,
you
you're
stop
absolutely
laughing at me? It's true.
No, because you know what I'm thinking is so true, but we get paid for one job. So I
right.
told the producer, I said, you owe me money. And she's like, what do you mean? I think you're high. And I said, well, I'm not high, okay? Because I'm the nanny, I'm the confident, I am the sister, I'm the craft service, I'm the
Okay.
nutritionist, I am the counselor for the relationship that the guy just cheated with another actress. I mean, I'm doing a lot of stuff in the middle of the night, which I don't like to do at night. And I said, you know what? You owe me money.
Yeah, yeah, I
So
bet. You guys,
I,
No,
you guys
you're there
really
when
just need a woman.
people's lives are falling apart. Like
Yeah,
literally.
yeah.
Like they're in the chair and they just found out their husband is cheating on them. Like I was with an actress
right.
and I remember found out that her husband was cheating when she was on a movie and this is the 6 degrees of separation. I remember later on, like many years later, I end up working with the woman who cheated with
With,
her husband. And
oh,
and I remember she somehow heard me mention that person's name. And I remember she called me to her trailer and she said to me, she goes, "That's one of the worst mistakes I ever made." And she goes, "I am so sorry." And I told her, I says, we hugged. I says, "I'm not here to condemn you, baby."
Yeah, yeah.
And I said, "I'm not here to condemn you. And life happens." And she goes, "That's one of the worst things I ever done." I said, but I told her, I says, "You got to forgive yourself. That's the
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah.
Because you don't need to torture yourself.
Mm-mm.
Yeah, you got to forgive yourself." And
Yeah.
that's the 6 degrees of separation, how that happened organically, you know?
Yeah.
love you. I don't condemn you, but don't do it.
What
Bad
about
girl.
what about intuition, Camille? How's that work for you in this industry?
I have really good intuition.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have really good intuition. I tell my family likes to lie to me. And
Mm.
actually, it's funny. I just visited my family and I told them, it doesn't matter if you don't tell me or how you want to spin it. I know it. I wake up and God, as soon as I open my eyes or when I'm in my meditation, I call it the download.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yep.
It comes.
Mm.
So I says, just don't waste your time doing it. If you just tell the truth, we can deal with it. We can deal whatever the challenge is. But the lying, I said, it's just so unfortunate. It's
Yeah.
so unfortunate.
Yeah. Especially if you
And
can see straight through it, right?
yeah, you can see right through it. And I'm really fortunate that, you know, I trust in my intuition. Like it's my GPS. I trust it. I know it. I listen to my gut. I don't doubt when I hear it. I don't doubt. Oh,
Right.
no. I'm like,
No,
got
right.
it. I
Yep.
heard you. Like I hear. I'm like, yes, that's the answer. And
Yep.
a lot of times, you just have to open yourself up. And like, if I can't figure out something, I just have to like go to bed. And I said, call on my God, angels, guides, ancestors. I call them out by name. Like, help me. Like, no, I
Yeah.
will call all the dead family members, honey. All the ones. I'm like, help me. I need help.
Yeah.
I need help. HELP. I need help. And you know what? The answer comes
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
because they
Yeah.
hear you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
They totally hear you.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know,
Yep, that was
it's
one of
no
the
small.
first things that my teacher taught me.
Yeah,
My guru, kind of my
yeah,
spiritual guru, was you have to ask. You have to ask, and then you will receive, but you have
yep,
to ask.
Mm.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. And
And
even
demanded.
she,
yeah.
she Isabel likes to demand.
Oh no,
Excuse me,
Isabel, she demands. She
I
gets
am doing this work, and I need this.
right. Yeah,
I don't even need it. You sending it.
yeah. And but like I'm taking on things now, and Isabel knows some of the things that I'm doing. I have other projects that I'm doing, and like I wake up some days, and I remember before I was really started digging in, I really woke up and I had horrible anxiety,
Mhm.
and
Mm.
And I have been working like a year and a half with a new therapist who is he's I know this sounds crazy. He's in London, but he's a great therapist and he's spiritual. And when I was there this summer, like we had like some 4 hour great sessions and meditating and
Yeah.
fire water, holy water, crystals and the whole baby. I was in the trance and it was beautiful. I was like, it's like so like I and so and the tools that he's even given me. And that day when I was spinning, and I said to myself, I said, Camille, you're going to comfort little Camille because she's scared.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so I can just see myself as I usually see myself around like 6 to 8. And I
Yeah.
looked in her eyes and I can say, Cammy, you're okay. You don't have to be scared. This is going to be okay. I
Mm.
got this. So
Mhm.
I can hold her and I can comfort her and I
Yeah.
can quiet that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's a tool in the
It's a
toolbox.
tool, exactly.
Yeah.
That's my tool too with my
Oh, yeah.
anxiety. Yeah, she's about 6, and I call
Okay.
her Rosie, but I'm the
Okay.
same. I have to talk to her. It's okay. You're gonna
Yeah.
trust me. I've got
Yeah.
this. We're gonna be okay. We're gonna be okay, you know? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I
So,
actually put mine in the freezer so she cools down.
you know what? Oh, okay.
Whatever it takes, right?
You know what?
No.
Izzy, okay, we're gonna talk about that later. Yeah. Yeah, we're gonna talk about that one later. But
Child abuse all the way. No.
no, but you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah, no, I know.
the
I know.
tools in the
Yeah.
toolbox.
Yeah.
And and how
Yeah.
that's how you make it through this journey.
Yeah.
You
Mhm.
got to have the tools.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
that's what we do with her, that we assist our clients, to learn new tools, because she does her hypnotherapy, I do mine, and it accessing little pieces that can help them, that they belong only to her,
Yeah.
him, whatever it
Yeah.
is.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. It's kind of just guiding people so that they
Right.
can have that themselves, wake it up
Yeah.
within themselves, right? It's
Yeah.
about them taking power of those tools,
Right.
Right.
taking power of their own life. Yeah.
Right.
Right. And not creating codependency, which
No,
a
we don't.
lot of therapists do.
Right.
No, we're not
You
into
there
that.
20 years and you were some when you went in. I'm like, oh,
And
No.
I
okay.
think for me, the one of the things I really learned even this year is you don't have to know everything.
Yeah.
Yes.
And even, like you don't have to do everything. And so it was funny. Me and Isabel were having a conversation about something, and she goes, Steve knows how to do that. She goes, get it to a certain place, and we'll have Steve O look at it. I didn't know that. But when I talked to her, listen, I went, a friend of mine, the guy who I went on a date with, he goes, babe, I want to send you this book. He sent me a book, and I was like, a book on how to do this or how to look at this in a different way.
Yeah.
So when I stop saying, oh, I have to carry it all,
Yeah. It comes, right?
it comes. And then now people are like, oh, I have this. I'll send this to you. Oh, I know somebody who can help you. Like
Mm-hmm.
yesterday, we had a powwow at my house. We had a great session and everything was just boom, 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 boom. And I was like, yeah. And today I woke up and I said, that little girl who was scared 2.5 weeks ago,
Mm.
honey, I'm cooking now. Turn it up on high. I'm
Yeah.
ready. You know, it just but that's all that allowing.
Hmm.
Don't worry about how. Just allow. Yeah.
Yeah.
To be real, knowing what is the real thing that is bothering us.
Right.
Because we tend to make up stories to kind of mask it a little so it doesn't hurt or
Yeah.
it's not scary. No, if we are with ourselves, it's like, you know what, you need a little,
Hmm.
or
Yeah.
you just turn it down or
Yeah.
whatever it is.
Do you
Yeah.
think it's the industry? Do you think it's that male dominant industry that makes you at the beginning feel like you have to act like you know everything?
I think for me,
What
it's
do
a
you
little
think it
bit of all
is?
of it. I think
Yeah.
honestly, it's the industry, male dominated, and it's being a Black woman.
Uh,
And not because if you ask for help, and even I think if you
Yeah.
ask for help or you say you don't know something, oh, I'm not smart enough or I'm
Yeah.
dumb. or
Right.
all those sort of things. But
Yeah.
one thing, if you really get into reality, nobody knows everything.
Exactly.
Right.
Like nobody can know everything that was created in this planet because
No.
it's too vast.
Hmm.
No,
And
except me.
except you, Isabel.
Oh,
Yep.
But as a whole, we don't
yeah.
have that capability. But
Yeah.
I always say God works through so many people.
Yeah.
Hmm.
And
Yeah.
having that ability to have people
Right.
who are connectors. I have great connectors in my life.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Hmm.
All the
Yeah.
Yeah.
connectors. Like I'm
Yeah.
No.
on Friday, I'm having a meeting with the connector, a lunch meeting. A
Yeah.
girlfriend, I don't see her all the time, but she was like, she goes, I heard you doing something that we should talk about. I
Hmm.
said, okay, baby, let's talk on Friday. You know,
Hmm.
because she's a connector. She goes, I want to connect you to some people.
Yes.
So, it's beautiful.
But I
Yeah.
think that comes to you because you're willing to do that for others.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think you
Yeah.
get to be taught because you teach.
Yeah.
Yes, I
You
agree.
know, it's like what we give, we receive.
Yeah.
Amen. Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know, so I think that
100%.
that's flowing to you because of who you are, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, let's do a color correcting thing.
Okay, what's that?
Well, black.
Well, okay, my background, I have,
Black.
okay,
Oh,
but in my background, I have so many different, like I have a lot of Native American people in my background. And
right.
like I always like that's why I'm so drawn to it. You know. And one thing about me, I love all cultures. When people say,
Right.
"Why do you do that?" I was like, because I love it. Listen, I was into the Lunar New Year. Baby, I was all about it. I did all my rituals, prayers, everything. My house is loaded over here, honey. We're
Yeah.
gonna have the fire horse. Let's
Yeah.
go.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
I'm open to the journey.
Yeah.
It's just not one thing.
Right.
No, and I think it should be whatever it is that you're drawn to. It
Yeah.
doesn't
Right.
matter what culture or
It
race or
doesn't.
ethnicity you are, it's what you're
Right.
drawn to. I think from a bigger scale, it's like your soul's leading you in
Yes.
directions, right?
I agree. I totally agree.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because when I studied no Peak English, and I was down there in New York going for it,
Right.
Yeah.
no so Peak English, and know that I'm doing great now, but I'm sure at least people understand some.
Yeah, you do
But
great.
and women and all that, it was a huge deal,
Yeah,
Camille,
it
for
was.
us.
It was.
And
It was.
very few years back, we started to be able to, like in the Grinch and all this, it was
Yeah.
like mainly, we're gonna be all males and,
Yeah,
but
like the shout out to Gail Ryan. Gail Ryan is one of the pioneers in our business. She's a
yeah,
hairdresser, and I can say she's a friend and a
yeah,
mentor. And she's somebody who, like, she's always been very talented. She's
yeah,
still 80 years old. She taught a class a week ago.
yeah.
Mm,
Like
She's so good.
she's so good. She still works, and she, no matter what you call her, she opens her heart to you. She's honest with you. And like 2 years ago, she lost her daughter, who I was friends with. And I remember I called her. I says, I can't be there, but I poured my heart out to her, and she was like, "Oh, Cammy." And because I was like, Laurel just was a spirit who couldn't be here anymore. And
Yeah.
she totally was like, Camille, that's exactly how I feel. And I was like,
Mm,
wow, her mom enlightened, you know?
yeah.
hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah, and then after, she with Bruce Willis, good. She
yeah,
loved him
right.
so much. She did him for not him, did the hair.
Yeah,
That's a
yeah,
bad saying that we do. Oh, I did this one, that one. Is like,
yeah,
ooh, this
yeah,
one is really going around.
right, right.
Yeah, but we're gonna get together in LA now that I'm
Yes,
coming,
yes,
and Corey's gonna come up, and we're gonna woo all over the place. Yeah, yeah. And
yes.
now she's personal for Sammy Jackson. That I love him. He's
You
so
guys,
funny.
you're gonna have so much fun.
He's
We'll
so
have some
funny.
fun and get to have some girl time, go to the beach and,
Yeah,
just
Yeah.
hang
yeah,
out and
yeah, yeah.
be. Yeah.
In B. And how can people get hold of you for classes, for, it's a lot of people that they have had therapy or they losing hair, alopecia, and you have so many good products, Camille, for
So many
that.
good products, and there's a really great doctor in LA right now. He
Oh.
has opened his name. Let me say, his name is Dr. Truesdale. And
Mm,
it's so funny. I am working right now with a referral from a friend of mine, for a woman. I'm helping her with her hair loss journey, and we're going to do some wigs. But
Mm.
also, she's going to Dr. Truesdale because I think we have to address that internally.
mm,
He has started literally, it's a hair loss clinic. No, that's it, dealing straight with hair loss. And
mm,
that
Wow.
hasn't been, people do it a little, doctors do it here and there, but he has a clinic for hair loss. His name is Dr. Truesdale. You could look him up on Instagram. And what he does, nobody's doing. I mean, people do little bits and pieces, but he really started a practice. And he's a great plastic surgeon. He's all about this. He does a great job. And so how people can get in touch with me is at hairscholars.com.
okay.
You could always connect with me also on Instagram, Camille Friend. I do answer my Instagram. You can DM me. People DM me for many things. You could always DM me, and ask me questions and go from there. And two, I'll say I've experienced hair loss. I have thyroid, and off and on I've had battles with my own hair. So I'm very empathetic and sympathetic, and I understand as a woman or a man what that's like.
Yeah.
So, that's why I'm always looking for great technology and newer products. I have some great products that I'm using that are out of Japan. They're very, very nice products for hair growth. I've been using them on myself for a year, and I have seen a lot of change.
Okay.
So,
Awesome.
yeah,
Mhm.
yeah.
I'll make sure all of that is underneath the video in the
Okay.
information for us so
Yeah.
they can reach you easy enough. Thank
Very
you
And we
cool.
will
so much.
do little shorts and
Yeah.
Yes.
LinkedIn so we
And then
can.
too, make sure you link me so we can also repost it. Just like
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll tell you guys, well, I shouldn't say this, but you guys can edit this out. So last year we lost our account with Facebook and Instagram. We
Mm.
got we got basically somebody hijacked it. It's a big
Yeah.
old situation.
Yeah.
I politicked and called so many people. It's very hard when you lose your account. So
Mm.
we had to kind of start over. I'm not making this up. Friday, I kept getting messages on my phone from Facebook. I said, "What is the joke?" And Julia was like, "Miss Camille," she goes, "I just went on Facebook and they're asking for your ID. They just looked at our case again." So we uploaded my ID, and so I guess we're into the next round. But I was like, I'm just saying, we're gonna get back our page.
Yeah, yeah,
It's
yeah.
taken a while
Yeah,
because
you
it
did
happened. It
all that
happened in
work.
November. But you
Yeah.
know what? I said, guess what? We're gonna get it back.
Yeah, you are.
Yeah.
Definitely. Yeah. It's a lot of work that you put into those pages, right?
Isn't it? Oh my gosh. This
We
podcast
lost so
and
we
all
lost
it.
so many followers, but
Yeah.
it happened, and I had to get over it. I had to let go. But
Hmm.
you spend so much time when you're working on your business, and it's people don't get how it's a big deal. But you know
Hmm.
what? We're gonna get it back.
You're
I
gonna get it
feel it.
back.
Yeah,
It's all an upgrade, baby.
that's right.
All right.
Thank you
Thank
so
you so
much.
much.
I
Thank
love
you,
you
ladies.
so
Thank you,
much.
thank you, thank
Oh,
you.
thanks so
All
much,
right.
Camilio.
Tell Steve-O I said hi.
Okay, my love.
Okay. Thank you, Corey. So nice
Bye.
to meet
You
you.
too. Bye bye.
Okay. Bye
Bye.
bye.